In this episode, we're going to be taking our F80 M3 to the next level by installing some lowering springs and a set of camber plates and seeing what effects these upgrades have out on track. In this series, we're taking our F80 M3 from a standard road car all the way through to a fully focused track car. What we're doing though is we're going to be doing this component by component. So in this episode, we're going to be installing a set of front upper camber plates. This is one of the first steps you take in your modifying journey with the F8X platform cars. The main reason is that the car as standard doesn't have adjustable camber, so an aftermarket component is required to adjust this. The nicest component to fit for this is a camber plate. There's lots of options on the market, but today we're going to be fitting our Suspension Secrets front upper camber plates. These are different to a lot in the market due to their larger bearings, and we also have a separate set of holes to mount the piece to the car that can also increase caster as well as camber, add an even more dynamic benefit into the chassis. We've been out all morning here at Oulton Park, and we've been data logging the car in its standard form as it is right now. Now it's lunchtime, we're going to get the car into the garage. We're going to be fitting these camber plates right now and aligning the car and heading back out this afternoon with the camber plates fitted. This is going to give us a direct before and after in the data. So if we came on a previous day, then fitted the plates and came another day and compared the data, you could say different conditions, different temperatures, different tire degradation, but in this case, it's the same car, same day, same weather, same conditions. The only thing that's going to change is the camber plates. So we'll take you through the before and after data once we've fitted those and once we've got the data collected out on track. So we've got the camber plates installed, we've just strung the car up as well. We've given the car a full geometry alignment on our Motorsport flat patch. So we're just getting the data logger going now. I'm going to head back out now for the afternoon and get some overlays to compare how the camber plates compare over being completely original. We've set the camber to 2.4 degrees using our front camber plates, so a nice track and road setting. And we're going to see how that compares to the OEM 0.8 degrees.
So we're going to press play now on the data overlay alongside the onboard footage. So the GoPro footage is from the fastest lap with the camber plates fitted. The data is going to be showing you the fastest lap with the plates fitted versus the fastest lap without the plates fitted on the same day at Oulton Park. So as we're approaching turn 1 here, before our minimum speed through that corner was 56.5 miles an hour. Now with the plates fitted, that's up to 65.3 miles an hour. So a huge speed increase through turn 1 there. As we come through turn 2 and 3, before the car through these two corners probably felt the most vague, and therefore I was backing off as a driver, really holding the speed off just to prevent the understeer from taking place. With the plates fitted, the level of grip and the feedback to the driver was so much so that I was pushing the car so much faster to the point now where at this point we're up 2.5 seconds on the previous lap, just due to carrying that extra speed. As we come through Shell Oils, we were carrying 0.2 G more through this corner, and you could really feel that as a driver as the car and the driver gets loaded through that corner with the lateral acceleration. And then into the Bricks chicane, we're carrying more pace, and again we're carrying more G. So the speed increase through this corner is then carried to the end of this straight, where we are able to get 4 miles an hour more top speed by the end of the straight due to carrying the speed through the chicane section and holding on to that as we accelerate out. Again, we're braking later, we're turning harder. So through Hislops and Knickerbrook, which is this section here, we had an average speed increase of 4.7 miles an hour through that whole section. And that meant that by this point on the circuit, we were 5.9 seconds up on the split from before. Approaching Druids, which is this section around the back, which again, in a car that has vague steering and has a loose front end, you've really got to back off. So through this section with the plates fitted, we gained a whole 2 seconds just through that section alone, because we're able to carry that speed with a lot more confidence without the fear of understeering off the circuit. As we go into the final corner, we were 0.11 G up again, as the car can just take that load through the tyre and it can handle the G-forces, so we can carry the pace and we can have a lot more confidence in the car as we go around. Over the line, we had a 9-second difference between the 2 laps, which is a massive increase just for one component fitted. That increase is twofold. It's one, due to the physical increases that the camber plates give in terms of the extra camber allows more G to be loaded through the tyre, which means we can carry more speed through the corner, which leads to a faster lap time. But it also is related to the driver confidence increase that the camber plates gave. So before, through many high-speed sections, the car felt very vague and as though it could understeer off the circuit if it was pushed too hard or turned in too hard. However, with the plates fitted, the car gave so much more feedback and you could feel that there was just so much more grip available. The confidence levels therefore increased to a point where I could brake a little later and throw the car in at much higher speeds because I knew that it would stick and it would carry that pace through that corner. Whereas before, I was probably backing off overly from what the car was probably capable of, but I just didn't want to take that risk with the car because it could obviously lead in a crash if too much speed is carried and the car just decides to understeer off and touch the grass. So I was probably backing off as a driver just because that confidence wasn't there. But with the plates fitted, the confidence was there to keep pushing harder, get all those apex speeds up, brake later, and then we were carrying pace all over the circuit, which led to that massive 9-second increase around Oulton Park.
We've just come off track now after the final session with the camber plates fitted, and it's the end of the day here at Oulton Park. So I know we've just been through the data just in the video just now, but I've not seen that just yet. So my initial impressions from this car were mind-bending. So the amount of grip that those camber plates produced, especially at the front axle, was phenomenal. Before, we were going around the circuit and the nose was always the weak spot. It was always trying to push the understeer. Corner exit, it was trying to just wash the nose out. If you went into a corner too hot on entry, it would just scrub the tyre and you'd just lose all confidence throughout the corner. With the camber plates fitted, immediately, straight out the pit lane, the cornering speed was up, the grip was up, and the confidence levels were massive. So we can now carry a lot more speed into the corner. As it turns in at apex, you feel the car roll and pitch over onto the outside tyre, but now it actually hooks up. It doesn't just wash it, you actually have so much confidence to lean on the car harder, enter the corner at a much higher speed and carry that pace throughout, which you will have probably seen now in the data. But the difference was phenomenal. So the term night and day I think is overused, but in this scenario, it was actually a night and day difference. This must be the most cost-effective upgrade you can have on your F8X chassis. And before, I thought the chassis was a great starting point, but now with these plates fitted, it makes me wonder why anyone would do a track day without the camber plates for the cost of them, and the difference in driving experience is unmatched compared to not having them fitted. So really, really happy. Things that are now present in the car are, I'd say, the rear traction. Now we've got so much front end, we're now starting to find the limits of the rear. So corner exit mainly, as we're getting back on throttle, as we've carried a lot more speed through the corner, we're just starting to get a tiny bit of instability at the rear end as it just comes round in a really slow linear fashion. But again, that's the next step to address. So in the next video, we're going to be taking a look at how we can fix that. And it might be time to move to a different tyre because we're still on the PS4S Michelin tyre, which isn't really a track tyre. So we're now looking good to move away from that, as now we're carrying so much more speed through the corner. I think we need a little bit more grip back from the tyre. So we'll address that in the next video.